Are leadership lessons from a Civil War battlefield still relevant for managers today? Joining us for this week's Smith Business Close-Up, Greg Hanifee, Executive Director of Custom Executive Education Programs. Greg, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Jeff.
You have a partnership with the Gettysburg Foundation. How did this come about?
Well, Jeff, organizations are constantly seeking how to improve their management talent and improve teamwork. So what we are offering from the Smith School of Business is our great faculty and the content that they can deliver about building teams and understanding challenges of modern-day business with the historical happenings that happened over the 3 days at the Gettysburg battle.
Most people are familiar with the broad outlines of the battle. Is there anything in there that you would point to that people take away great management lessons from?
Well, as you said, we understand a lot of the military history of the battle and the outcomes, certainly. But the battle is really rich with a lot of examples of management decision-making, communication styles, leadership styles. And what we try to do is work with organizations one-on-one to understand what their challenges are and pull out of the battle, what happened with Robert E. Lee, what happened with General Meade, and different decisions along the way, and their generals and what happened. So it's a really rich set of management examples that we can pull from.
Who do you expect to benefit most from this sort of program? Is this more geared towards maybe MBA students or executives who are currently in the workplace?
We're really gearing towards executives that are in the workplace because they have challenges that we can pull examples from Gettysburg, and they have the history in their own organization to rely upon. And it's also a chance for executives to step outside the office, walk on the battlefield, and then we'll bring them back in the classroom and talk about, okay, when we learned about Buford and his cavalry, how does that relate to what you're facing in your organization today?
What kind of feedback have you gotten from people? I don't know how many have been through this, if any, so far, but what do you hear?
Well, while we were forming the partnership with the Gettysburg Foundation, we had the chance to present the idea to one of our custom clients, Force 3. And the feedback was overwhelmingly positive, I have to say. It was one of the highest rated programs we'd ever done. They were particularly impressed with the way that we took examples of what happened on the battlefield and related it back to the challenges that they were facing at that particular time. So I think they were also impressed in the way we took these examples and mapped them to the practical things that they could do when they went back to the workforce.
Well, one thing that comes to mind, of course, is the Gettysburg Address and the idea that the shorter speech can sometimes be the more powerful one. What stands out for you? I mean, in the course of running this program, any management lessons that you maybe hadn't thought of before or thought of in quite the same way?
Well, I think in particular there's a character at Gettysburg Joshua Chamberlain, who led the Maine regiment, and his ability to persuade some of the Maine infantry not to leave. Their time was up in the Army, but he convinced them to stay and fight right next to their brothers from Maine. So I think it was a really impressive use of influence and charisma at a very difficult time for a lot of these people. So it was a story that I'd never really heard before, but it was very impressive. And because Chamberlain did that, the Union Army was able to hold Little Round Top during the battle.
Good stuff. All right, Greg Hanifee joining us from the Smith School of Business. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jeff.